In this session, you will understand how Microsoft Sentinel helps you monitor, detect, and respond to network level threats across your hybrid cloud environments using built in tools, connectors, and analytics. You live in a world where networks aren't just cables and switches anymore. Your corporate boundaries are fuzzy, users are remote, apps are hosted in the cloud, and traffic flows through hundreds of endpoints, firewalls, and proxies. That's exactly why network monitoring isn't optional anymore. It's your first line of visibility, detection, and response. Microsoft Sentinel brings all of this together for you. It acts as your cloud native SIEM and SOAR platform that ingests network data, correlates it, and lets you hunt down anomalies or threats in real time. You can navigate to the Microsoft Sentinel by typing Microsoft Sentinel in the Azure search bar as shown. You're looking at the Microsoft Sentinel Content Hub, where you onboard Azure native and third-party data sources. In this case, we are focusing on the Azure Firewall solution. Let me walk you through what you're seeing and how to onboard Azure Firewall into Microsoft Sentinel. On the left pane, I've already selected Log Analytics Workspace, my dash log. Every data source, analytic rule, or workbook will be linked to this workspace. Under Content Management, click on Content Hub. This is where Microsoft Sentinel offers hundreds of pre-built solutions from Microsoft and partners, covering everything from Azure Firewall to Palo Alto, Okta, and AWS. I've typed Azure Firewall in the search bar, filtering out unrelated results. You now see multiple content items labeled Azure Firewall, including Azure Firewall, main solution, Azure Firewall structured logs, Azure Firewall block IP add to IP group, and playbook integrations. On the right, you can see the detailed pane for the Azure Firewall solution. It uses Azure Monitor Resource Diagnostics, so make sure you've enabled diagnostic settings on your Azure Firewall to stream logs to the Log Analytics workspace. Once you are ready, click the blue Install button. This will deploy all the components, connector, rules, workbooks, etc. into your Sentinel workspace. Once you've successfully installed the connector, you'll notice that the status next to each related content title changes to installed. That's your confirmation that the solution components like the data connector, workbooks, analytics rules, and playbooks are now active in your Sentinel workspace. Now it's time to take the next step. Click the blue Manage button to explore and configure these newly added components. This is where you can fine-tune analytics rules, activate playbooks, and start using the dashboard to monitor your Azure Firewall activity in real time. You're now looking at the Microsoft Sentinel Azure Firewall solution page after the solution has been installed. This section lists all the components that came with the solution, including analytics rules like abnormal deny rate for source IP or port scan, playbooks for automated response like block IP or add IP to TI allow list, hunting queries to help you proactively look for threats, workbooks for visual dashboards to monitor Azure Firewall activity, and a data connector that facilitates log ingestion. Each item has a status column so you can see what's installed and what still needs setup. Orange warning icons next to items indicate pending configuration. The disconnected status on the right side means Azure Firewall logs haven't started flowing into Sentinel yet. You'll also see the last log received field is blank, another indicator that ingestion isn't active yet. Usually it takes around 30 to 60 minutes to get the ingestion working once you added the diagnostic settings on the Azure Firewall. Now it's your move. To complete the onboarding process, click on the blue Open Connector Page button at the bottom right. This will take you to the Data Connector configuration screen where you can set up log collection, select your Log Analytics workspace, Specify what type of logs to ingest: application, network, DNS, etc. Without this step, Sentinel won't be able to receive any Azure Firewall logs, even though everything else is installed. You are now on the Azure Firewall connector page inside Microsoft Sentinel. This is where you finalize the onboarding by enabling diagnostic log ingestion. Don't stop here. You must complete this configuration by actually visiting your Azure Firewall resource and setting up the diagnostic settings as described. Once done, return to this page and you will begin to see the log flow status update, the chart fill up, and the disconnected label change to connected. Once your network logs are flowing into Sentinel, it's time to detect the bad stuff. You can enable built-in analytics rules that detect port scans and reconnaissance attempts, sudden spikes in failed connections, DNS tunneling attempts, malicious outbound traffic patterns, and unusual data exfiltration based on NSG flow logs. Sentinel uses Custo query language behind the scenes to inspect these logs, but you don't always need to write them yourself. Microsoft gives you a head start with out-of-the-box content. Using Sentinel, you're not just reacting to alerts, you're being proactive. That's what threat hunting in Sentinel allows you to do. So, for each analytics rule and hunting queries, select each of them once at a time and create the rule. That's it. When something suspicious happens, you don't want to always be the one clicking the buttons. With Sentinel's automation rules and playbooks, you can block suspicious IPs using Azure Firewall rules, disable a VM's network interface, notify your security team on Teams or email, open an incident in ServiceNow. These actions are powered by Azure Logic apps and can be fully customized to suit your escalation workflows. So, what's your key takeaway? Microsoft Sentinel lets you centralize all your network logs and threat data in one place. You can detect, hunt, visualize, and respond to network anomalies in real time. Sentinel's workbooks and analytic rules accelerate your time to detection. Automation ensures you are not just aware of attacks, you are acting on them.